Welcome, amazing and beautiful souls, to the Intentional Resonance Podcast. I'm your host, Joyce Mathers, and I am so excited and thrilled that you are here because together we are going to make intentional waves. This podcast is based on my new book, Intentional Resonance, and on to a new way of being, focusing on everything personal, professional, and spiritual development to reach Christ consciousness within to birth a true heaven on earth. I hope you'll join us, and let's create. Welcome, seekers. I'm so glad that you tuned in today. This is Friday, October the 20th, and today I am interviewing again, but on a different topic, longtime coaching client of 5 years, Marc Blais. I'm so excited because we're just going to talk about coaching and what his experience has been like so everybody else out there can get an idea of what coaching is like and is it for me? So let's just dive in. And Marc, hey, how are you today? Woo! Lost my earring.
I'm very good. I think you started off, but it's Friday. I mean, it doesn't get better than that.
Right? It's Friday, but I try to go into Mondays saying, oh my gosh, what do I get to do this week? It is Friday, and I am looking forward to it. Gonna be a great weekend. Any amazing plans for the weekend?
Amazing plans for the weekend.
I don't know, just up the vibe.
Well, my amazing plan is I don't have any plans, which
Really good.
is purely beautiful in my life. So
Okay, well let's talk about coaching, Marc. So it's crazy, right? We've been coaching together. I think we started in 2018. So that's 5 years.
yeah, it has. Wow, time certainly moves fast. That's for sure.
I know when I sat down and I really thought about it, I thought, wow, that's crazy. It's flown by.
It has, but like I will. I guess what I like about coaching is that I always use the word that it's a partnership. And so I at least I feel blessed to have met you in my life, and then to create this partnership where I get to continually reflect on my own life and at the same time create a direction of where I'm going. So it's powerful in many ways.
Well, I'm glad you said that and that it is a partnership because for me, that's exactly what it is. And just as you benefit, I benefit as well. I tell many people this that I talk to all the time that this is a co-creative partnership, a mutually beneficial partnership, because as we talk about things and we go through and we set goals and visions and we work through the challenges and come to a better state, that it reemphasizes the same in me. And I always say that I'm a better person because this is what I do. So it is an amazing process. All right. Well, let's start in on some questions. And I got to ask, and let's start from the beginning, shall we? What was going on in your life or business when you decided to work with me? What challenges were you facing?
Uh, well, 2018, I got the experience of being laid off from a position. It was a very, I'll call it, as much as I could say I was shattered by it, I think I was more kind of perplexed by the whole thing, to be like, what is going on? Like, I've been a high performer. I always was creating revenue, and I was inspiring. I was fortunate to be in a leadership role, and I was inspiring people to be at their best every day. So I was like, huh, this is really interesting. So I mean, and then the fact that I was now out of work. So when there was that piece, I took that I'll call it that pause in my career as an opportunity to kind of grow in different ways. So I, took some different programs. That's where you and I first ran into each other. And then I landed work again, and I was back, in a professional role. And so part of this journey, Joy, was kind of like, and knowing what coaching was about. It was like, okay, well, that's great. I got let go from a job, and then I've landed work again, and I'm back to being for simplicity, a worker bee again. So I'm contributing to the economy. And then it was kind of like, what is my purpose in life? Because this feels weird. Like it just felt like I was removed from one entity and put back into another entity. It felt like my hand was forced in different ways, or that, well, I guess fundamentally I had no control. So I guess I wanted to go down this path to go, what is my control? What is my purpose? So here we are, and continue on this. It's a journey, I will say that much, as I continue to discover more about me.
Right. The fact of being laid off, you were faced with this epiphany, I should say, or life question of, okay, what is my purpose and what am I doing? That perpetuated this desire to keep going in coaching and discover new things about yourself.
Yeah, and I will say, the experience, I call it an experience of being laid off, because it really is. It felt like it I don't know what you want to call it, like woke me up or shook me to be like, Mark, you're made for more than just this. So I was like, okay, well, let's discover what this is. So
yeah, I love it. Well, and it's been such a wonderful, amazing, beautiful experience. I have to tell everybody out there, I love working with Marc. To me, the energy that we co-create when we're in a coaching sometimes just has me completely taken back, and I have no words for it because it's truly a beautiful experience. Okay, but for everybody out there, Marc, let's just ask the question, what made you choose to work with me to overcome this challenge or this aspect of figuring yourself out and identifying a greater purpose for yourself?
The biggest piece, Joy, is that that you make it clear that, just through our discussions, that it is a partnership, that we're working together to inadvertently help me, and to an extent, I hope it helps you. And with that, you don't show up with judgment at all. Like, I guess, like, it is such a space of, it's almost like living in, or when I have these sessions with you, it's like walking into this space that the rest of the world just pauses, and it's like, okay, I just get to be me, and I get to like speak openly and freely. And then sometimes when I'm speaking, I'm like, oh my God, I actually said that. Like, when you remove, when I guess the biggest part is I get to take off all of these masks that I wear to fit into society and all these societal roles that I have to fulfill. It's like I get to just pause and be like, okay, what do I look like? And then I just get to speak openly. And then you just inquire me with a bunch of different, well, what's that about? And, you ask hard questions. I will give you that. And which pushes me to really discover more about me and discover where I am heading in this life.
Well, I appreciate that, and is always my intention, right, to create this safe space for people to truly just be truly who they are and know that there's no judgment. And we're two human beings figuring this shit out, and at times brainstorming, soundboarding, sometimes facing challenges together and walking through it. One thing I gotta just grab, because to me it's funny. I can't tell you how many times yesterday, even in all of my coaching sessions, people said, Joy, you ask such hard questions. but it was true. The follow-up was, but they make me think. And it is in that process of when we're made to think that epiphanies happen, that realizations happen. And to me, that's what moves us all forward, right? Just because it gives us the perspective that maybe we haven't thought of before.
Yeah, I guess, to your point there, Joy, it's like you are, while it is a relationship, a partnership, it's like it's clear to me that you're here to see me grow, and discover more of myself, and to do that takes hard questions, and sometimes you call my BS to be like, no, I don't believe it, right? And then I have to kind of rewind and go, okay, it's time for me to speak truth to myself. So yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. True. I always say to people that decide to go into coaching, it is profoundly courageous to face ourselves. And it is the most rewarding work, but also the most challenging. Thanks, Mark, for sharing that about yourself. Okay. Oh, I'm not even sure if I know this, but what a good question. I'm glad I'm asking it. What has been your biggest breakthrough working with me?
Fundamentally, that I'm enough, that I'm enough in this world. How I show up, I am showing up with the energy I have available today in this moment. And because I'm human, that energy is not consistent. I'm not a robot, so it fluctuates, right? And so it allows me to create this pause to be like, I am enough. And in that, I'm able to reflect to be like, you know what? Life is a beautiful journey, and there's no single moment that defines who I am. And there's no title that I'm given that defines who I am. That's just a title based off of where I am in different situations.
It warms my heart. I love hearing that I'm enough. And truly at the end of the day, that's the power. That's the power that I hope everyone gets to embrace. The knowing, not just the belief, but the knowing that they are enough, that their identity, their value, and their worth is not tied to a role. It's not tied to society's view of success. It's within you. Thanks, Mark. I just love this. Thank you for sharing that. All right. You may have already mentioned this, but I'm going to ask it point blank. What is your favorite thing working with me?
That I can be my true self. But in being my true self, I get to discover who my true self actually is, which is a really cool experience.
Yeah, it is. And it's a cool experience to be a part of. I know I always appreciate it. I always tell you how much I appreciate it to bear witness to your authentic self, because it's beautiful. How would you describe coaching with me to somebody else who doesn't know me or even coaching?
Well, one word, freedom. It feels like an experience of freedom where you just get to speak openly and honestly. And I guess part of the coolest part is, and this is where I've struggled in my life, is I've always deflected and talked about someone else or some other situation. And you've done a phenomenal job of bringing it back to me. Okay, but we're talking about you, Mark. We're not talking about somebody else or some other situation. What about you? This goes back to you. So it's I I love how it's become this my own journey of learning that I have to go inwards, which ironically ties to what your whole book is about. So
True. And as you're talking, that really makes me chuckle because it brings a lot of memories back of being, I suppose, a little bit more challenging in our sessions, saying, Yeah, that has nothing to do with anything. What about you? And I remember often struggling a little bit of how challenging I should be. And I know I said to you in the past, but for everybody that's listening, when you work with somebody for such a long period of time, to me, it has been invaluable as a coach and what I have learned coaching someone for this length of time. And I think one of the biggest things that I learned, thanks to Marc, because of just the wonderful relationship that we have, is the importance and the courage to be challenging. Because it's been proven over and over again, that's when we're challenged in these ways is when you have the greatest discoveries of yourself. And so from the bottom of my heart again, Marc, is thank you for teaching me that as a coach, because I know it has made a world of difference in my ability to coach others.
Well, I'm glad for being difficult.
It's been amazing. Okay, let's see. Yeah, okay, we just asked that question. All right, this is actually the last question. So I think we're close to being not too long here today. So that's awesome. All right. Curious, would you recommend me to others looking to shift their life and or business to the next level? If so, why?
Yes, I would. Certainly if someone's looking for coaching, I have without a doubt, would recommend you for helping them in this space, in this journey. Why? Because, as we just kind of talked about a little bit, is I think we have a tendency to go outwards and not inwards. So it's like if I am trying to improve my life, or inadvertently my business, it's like it's an inside job. So it's like, well, what's the greatest way to discover who I am, and where's a space that happens where I can grow. And I think that's the important part, is the growth piece. Because there's many other, professionals out there, and some of them will spend a lot of energy and time exploring your past. But I have to reflect on the fact that I'm here now where I am. I can't go back, 25, 35 years ago. And by all means, I don't remember the finite details. When someone says, well, how did you feel when you were a child, when you were sitting in your room by yourself? I'm like, I don't know. I was 5 years old. Like, I'm going to tell you something to appease you so that you stop asking me that question. But I guess I look at this as, is you do a beautiful job of you're here now. All of those experiences have led you to this journey. All of my experiences, including the experience of being laid off, has led me to this journey of connecting with you and walking this path. And so it has allowed me to go, okay, well, what is my path forward? Not what is my path backwards, but what is it forward? And what do I want to be? And I want to own and be responsible for that path forward. So that's what I feel that you do a great job of.
Thanks, Marc. Perfect. In a lot of ways, you're highlighting a lot of really important aspects of the coaching relationship. That it's true that we can't go backwards. And coaching isn't about going backwards. The only thing that we can do is create a different relationship with it that may offer healing and your ability to move forward. But at the end of the day, coaching is about, what's the word I'm looking for? Discovering or uncovering our beliefs and our thoughts and our emotions, perceptions, habits, behaviors, and actions in order to change them. That will move us closer, because coaching is future oriented and positive focus. And I think what you were saying just speaks so perfectly to that. So thank you, Mark. And I think that's really would be valuable for those that are considering is like, hey, well, what's this coaching thing? And should I really do it? And so this leads me to my last question. And this is kind of just off the cuff, but I think it's a good one. Who should not give coaching a go?
Who should not? Well, I don't, it's not for everyone at maybe their current place in time of life. I would say someone that feels that it's important to go back and explore, then there are other professional services to provide that, and it will work for some. But yeah, I would say, if you're in a position that you want to own who you are, and you want to move forward, well, I'll say this: we're all moving forward. It comes down to, do we want to decide, or would you want to let the world around us decide? And so, personally, I want to take that control.
Absolutely. Very, very key point. Coaching is all about moving forward and stepping into our greatest potential. And I forgot what I was going to say that was adding on to what you just said, but that's okay. What did you just say at the end there?
Just, you can control moving forward. Like, you can be a part of it and be part of the decision making, or you can let life happen to you.
Right. I was going to emphasize that, which is you can either create your life or let life create you. Yes. And I wanted to emphasize what you were saying there because I felt that it was super important. Okay. Well, that's pretty much all the questions I had. And my intention was to help people understand a little bit more about coaching, the coaching experience, what it's like. And is there anything else that you would like to say about coaching, being coached, coaching profession?
Absolutely. It's like anything, it's a relationship. So that's not to say, like, if you find a coach and there's no chemistry there, then that's not to say that coaching is not for you. Maybe you just don't have the right fit. I guess what is beautiful about you, Joy, is you come to the table with like this aura of high energy, high vibration, and I can literally feel it. And it puts me in this state of, all right, I am not afraid to be myself in these sessions.
Love it. Oh, Mark, I love you. And I love all of you watching, coming to the table and experiencing and being part of this energy, this discussion. So thank you so much. Got to say thank you to Mark because, he is a big part of my journey as a coach. He's my friend. I see him as a co-creator, so he's going to be in a lot of videos, but truly an awesome individual. He's someone who has embarked on becoming a coach himself, and I'm super excited about his journey. And so I'm hoping everybody's going to see a lot more of him. Truly wonderful human being, and I am so appreciative for you to come and talk about coaching and also coaching with me and what that's like. So thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
All right, everybody, that is the end for today, and we'll see you on the flip. Have a great weekend. If you are interested in purchasing my new book, Intentional Resonance, The Dawn to a New Way of Being, to contribute to your personal and spiritual development journey, it is available on Amazon in Kindle and paperback formats, Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, and worldwide. If you are interested in inquiring about the different types of coaching services I have to offer, or if you just want to connect, please choose one of the links below to reach out and connect. On TikTok, it's at Joy in Creation. On YouTube, at Intentional Resonance Project. and by email, intentionalresonanceproject@gmail.com. Looking forward to hearing from you. Talk soon.